people who intentionally invite you out into spaces where they know that you'll be uncomfortable at. It's one thing to be invited out and people just don't know what you're going through. But when someone is purposely putting you in a spot where you'll stand out or be uncomfortable, that's them weaponizing your neurodivergence. They're trying to make you the odd one out for their own amusement. We don't need to prove that we belong or need to change to make other people feel better because we are who we are. And if someone can't respect that, they just don't need to be in your space.
A lot of late diagnosed people I talk to, a lot of late identified people I talk to, will have trouble with friends and family members accepting their autism. They have this problem with it and they are challenged on it, which is just further dismissive and further alienating for the person. So I want to talk about 3 reasons why this might be the case that aren't immediately obvious to you. My name is Sol Smith. I'm autistic, I'm ADHD, and I'm a life coach for other neurodivergent people. I help us to understand ourselves, help us to communicate better with our family members and the people who are important to us. So, number 1, a lot of our friends and family members who have not been keeping up to date have a lot of outdated conceptions of what autism is. They build it on older stereotypes of the very more clear-cut cases that they've seen when they were younger. That you might hear something like, well, you know, cousin such and such has autism, and if it doesn't look exactly like that, then it's not autism. And this outdatedness gives them this distance from it. And they can't see that despite your context, you're facing some of those same challenges that they're saying you're not. Which brings us to number 2, that our friends and family can often miss the challenges that we're facing. They don't see the challenges. They don't see the way that we've stretched ourselves thin. They can point out all of your accomplishments. And they can even say something like, well, yes, you have trouble with relationships. You have trouble with jobs. You have trouble with being understood. But everybody does. You know, you're just in a dry spell. And they don't see the way that this is stretched behind you for decades. The way that these challenges have followed you everywhere. The way that they've built a pattern that has no reasonable explanation if it's not this. Number 3, they may have a resistance to the label and a resistance to the guilt that they may feel in this realization. They feel that the label brings a stigma. They feel that the label brings a detriment. And they feel that their own role in this is that they've missed something, that they missed being able to help you. They will be in denial because they want to escape the emotional torment that they might put themselves under when they accept you're autistic. They're afraid that something they did was missing everything, that maybe you're going to blame them and you're going to hold it against them. When in fact, you know, as I said earlier, it's much more likely you're going to hold against them that they're not accepting of this now, that they're not listening to you now. So finding ways to communicate this to friends and loved ones that stop the alienation, that stop that separation, that stop driving a wedge between us is tricky and individual. And it's stuff that we talk about all the time when we're together. And just in the support group the other week, we were talking about how difficult this moment can be for our friends and family and how unfair it is that we have to be the ones comforting them through the situation. There's lots of different ways for us to deal with it.